Hey guys, Kristen here from travelingcpachick.com. I am here to serve you in your digital nomad or location independent journey in years 1 and 2. And today we're going to be talking about trip planning and budgeting. So I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite parts of travel is actually getting to be excited about it, the excitement beforehand, and being able to read travel blogs and travel books and just kind of dive in and start to plan and map out my itinerary while I'm there. And of course, we want to leave it pretty open-ended because we want to leave room for adventures as they happen. But we do want to map out some things that we may be interested in doing. And we want to also think about our budget for our trip, because even though we may go over or under budget, it's important to get an idea of how much we're going to be spending so we know how much we need to save. So I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to present to you our trip planning and budgeting template. And this is what I use when I plan a trip. It is an absolute lifesaver, and I know you guys are going to love it. So let's go into it. Okay, so here we are. So this template is on Google Sheets, so you can either create a copy of it in Google Sheets or download it into Microsoft Excel. But I prefer to leave it in Google Sheets so it's saved in the cloud. If something happened to your computer or if you needed to access it on your phone, you totally could. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and just make a copy. So to do that, I'm going to click File, Make a Copy, and then I'm just going to name it whatever I would like. And of course, you can change the folder where it's saved as well. So the instructions say edit yellow highlighted fields to begin. So the first thing I want to do is I want to edit the destination because I'm not going to San Diego on this trip. So I'm going to give you an example of a train trip I just took through kind of the Midwest US. So we went to St. Louis and we were there for 2 nights. We went to Milwaukee, and I know you guys are going to make fun of me because I'm definitely going to spell this wrong. Milwaukee. Okay, we'll try that. And we went there 2 nights. And then Chicago, and we were there 4 nights. And then St. Louis again on the back end, and we were there 1 night. So total of 9 nights. And we did spend some time in Kentucky and Nashville. I'm not including it for purposes of this. And of course, if you are going to many more destinations, you may want to go ahead and have 2 different trip planning templates, one for the beginning of your trip and one for the end, just because you don't want to get bogged down with this massive spreadsheet. So as you can see, when I was doing that, this side of the spreadsheet started to populate. And basically what it's doing here is it's giving me space to just jot down some ideas I have about what I want to do on the trip. So while I'm doing my preliminary research and looking at Pinterest or reading travel blogs, I can, go in here and paste links or just type in names of places like the St. Louis Arch. I could put in whatever research I'm doing. This is a place for me to park that. So super, super helpful. Now, before we get started on planning out our itinerary and mapping out our days, let's think about our budget, because that's really going to dictate a lot of what we get to do and some of the experiences we're going to be having. So a couple of different categories here. You have your daily expenses. So those are non-negotiables, things you spend on a daily basis while you're traveling. And then you have your one-time expenses that you're going to spend before your trip, likely to allow you to go on this trip, like purchasing flights and any pre-trip equipment that you have to buy. Let's say you're going on an outdoor adventure and you need to buy camping gear. That would all be factored in here, as well as travel insurance. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out for my trip. So we did not budget for lodging because we were doing travel hacking and we were trying to stay with family and friends. For food, we budgeted for 2 people about 50 a day. For ground transportation, we'll just leave it at 25 and 25 for experiences. We didn't have any budget for nightlife and we did not budget for shopping. And I believe actually we were at 60 a day for food. So that's 110 per day. Now flights, we didn't take any flights. We didn't have to purchase anything pre-trip. And then as far as travel insurance, we didn't get any and there was no miscellaneous purchases for one-time expenses. So our budget for this trip, let's just say, is $1,100. So now we have that number in our head, and when we're traveling, we can keep in mind that, okay, we should try to stick to 110 per day. And since we know our budget, we know when we're going over or under. And obviously, enjoy yourself on your trip. Of course, it's okay to go over a budget, but it's really important that when you get back from your trip, you track how much you actually spent versus what your budget is, so you can learn for next time. And then this will also give you a great idea, again, of what you need to save for your next trip, because this grand total is the amount it's going to cost you. Okay. So let's just say I am going to now start mapping out my trip itinerary. I've got my budget in place. I know my destination. So coming over to this tab, basically there is a column for each night I'm going to be on the road. So St. Louis, of course, I got my first 2 nights there, my second 2 nights in Milwaukee, and then Chicago, and then back to St. Louis for 1 night. So this tab is really great because you can basically start mapping out what your days are going to look like. So accommodation name, I would just put brother-in-law's home. That's where we stayed in St. Louis. And then morning, afternoon, and evening. So like, let's say in the morning, I wanted to jog to St. Louis Arch. Let's say in the afternoon, I wanted to take a riverboat cruise. And let's say in the evening, I wanted to brewery hop and so you can be as detailed or as vague as you want here, but it's really helpful just to use this to map out, again, what your days are going to look like as you kind of plan your trip and put it together in your head. So there you have it, our awesome trip planning and budgeting template. I think this is going to be a huge resource for you going forward and traveling. And of course, you can use this template. It's available for purchase on the website, or you can make your own. Take this idea and kind of make it your own as well. But I love this spreadsheet. Again, like I said, it's available for a very low cost, and let me know if you have any questions. But happy travels, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.